Hi guys, so welcome to a new series. Behind me is my 2024 Mini Cooper Clubman. I just picked it up from the dealership yesterday. So in this series I'm going to be taking this car from a vehicle that I picked up at the dealer dirty because I asked them not to clean it, to something that is cleaned, polished, paint corrected, and I'm going to have the rear of the vehicle, well, I'm going to ceramic coat the rear of the vehicle, and I'm going to have the front of the vehicle covered in paint protection film. So the very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to wash this. I'll give you guys a very brief walk around. So the paint is a dark green. The roof is it's a fade, so it fades from white in the front to gray in the back. You can see that there. But as you can see, it's really dirty. Well, it doesn't show up very well in the camera, but like the mirror caps you can see are pretty dirty, and the roof, there's some bird poop, and then obviously the front grille. I had to drive this 2 hours home from the dealer yesterday, and I also asked them not to wash it, so there's spots all over it. So I'll do a full walk around when we get it into the garage, but for now we're going to get it washed. So to start, I'm going to rinse the car off, and then I'm going to spray the car with Built Handler Touchless, which is it's supposed to be a touchless car wash, meaning that you don't actually have to soap the car or touch it with a mitt. It has the ability to break down a lot of bugs and grime and other dirt. So I'm going to do that first. We're going to just rinse it off, and then I'm going to wash the car like I normally would. Spray my wheels with Brake Buster. Brake Buster's diluted 50 to 50 with water. And I'm going to be taking the wheels off to do a ceramic coating, and then later I'm going to take the wheels off to replace them. So right now I'm just trying to get the heavy off. Here's touchless. This is pretty near 50-50. It's like 400 milliliters of touchless with 600 milliliters of water. It's going to give me about a 0.5 PIR, panel impact ratio. We're going to spray this on, and we're going to let it dwell for a couple of minutes, which is why I'm out here in the gray. You definitely don't want to do this in the sun. All right, so we're just going to let the touchless dwell. What we'll see is the foam will be kind of brown. There'll be like drippy brown spots from the bugs and other things that it breaks down that drip off the car. So I'm going to give this a couple minutes, and then once it's done, I'm going to spray it off with water. All right, so like I said, with the touchless, you can see the foam underneath the car has some color to it because of the things that are breaking down. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to rinse the car off. You really just want to let this sit on there until it like starts to break down like this. You don't want it to start drying. So if you're in the sunlight, you might not be able to let it dwell as long. I actually probably wouldn't even do this in the sunlight. You'll end up with streaks. But on a gray day that's normally cold like this, you should be fine. If it's hot out, it might be a little bit different. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spray some iron remover on it. This is P&S Iron Buster. From what I understand, they're pretty much all the same. I just use P&S Iron Buster. It's relatively inexpensive. I can buy it easily. So I'm going to spray it on the car. And I'm not sure if I have any fallout that I need to deal with, honestly. This car wasn't transported by rail. It was transported by truck from the factory to the loading dock, and then it was put on a boat, and then it was transported via boat from the UK to Los Angeles. And then it was put on a truck and delivered to the dealership. So I don't probably have a lot of rail dust, but we're going to test it out anyway and just see if we get any. This will turn purple if there is. So we're just going to spray this on. All right, so sprayed it off with the Iron Buster. Now we're going to rinse that off the car. So like I suspected, there wasn't a ton of iron fallout. I did have some purple streaks here and there, but I put a lot of Iron Buster on the car and I had very little purple. So really not too bad as far as like rail dust or iron deposits are concerned, which is good. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wash it through my normal method, like an actual touch wash. And then I'm going to dry it off and we're going to take it in the house. We're going to do a clay bar. We're going to start doing some paint correction and so on and so forth. So this is Koshchemi or Kochemi GSF. I'm running it, there's 800 milliliters in here to 200 milliliters of water, but I have the little Griot's diluting thing in there. Watch my Griot's video on the foam cannon if you're interested in that. So in my bucket I've got a little bit of GSF as well. I've got 2 buckets here, a wash and a rinse. Just going to use kind of what's the standard 2-bucket method. So we'll take my pad. I'm going to use one side to wash the roof. Then flip it, wash the other side of the roof with the other half. So we've washed it for our 3rd time. I'm going to dry it off and get it inside. Thank you for watching, and check out the next episode where I'll be doing a tour of the car and kind of talking about what a Clubman is and what options it has and all of that stuff. Trying this towel out for the first time. I don't hate it. It gets a little bit heavier than the Gauntlet does, but I think it soaks up a little bit more water, which is kind of nice for a car like this, because without any sort of drying aid or protection on it, it doesn't really bead very well, so the blower doesn't work very well.